Australia, another AFL season gets underway. Bounce. Favours Harding. Up he goes and taps it down. Taken by Kemp. Confronted by Hurd. Wilson, who was the spare man on the line across half back because of those two men on Matera, comes up and applies a tackle.
Djakovic picking up Manton.
Hurd, clean possession, good evasion, smothered off the boot by Banfield. Olorenshaw gets it across to O'Donnell, kicks inside the 50 well and truly. Loose ball. Djakovic arrives, tries to keep it in. Was that wise? I'm not sure. Kickett grabbed it, hand passed it back as far as Turley, but he did cross the boundary line. So a throw in the pocket. Bright sunny day, a hot one here in Melbourne.
There's McIntosh picking up Paul Salmon, full forward and full back.
Down goes Brennan. Was he pushed in the back? Calthorpe dragged off it, close to the boundary line. Mercury. It's still in. It comes back to Mercury. Hand passes Olorenshaw. Olorenshaw gets the hand pass across to Cockatoo-Collins. A high kick. It comes back to the middle, and Dale Kickett has taken the mark on his chest, only about 40 metres from goal.
A quality player, Dale Kickett, picked up in the draft, of course. He's had a go at a few clubs. This is his fourth club, in fact. And in that Foster's Cup Grand Final, in that third quarter, turned the game round in about 10 minutes with some brilliant football.
What a start this would be. The kick hangs in the air, and I think he's missed. He has. First score of the season.
Well, Dale Kickett, 38 games in 4 seasons, all over the place. Fitzroy, a couple of games with the Eagles, then St Kilda. He gets the first score, but a minor one. McKenna goes in short to Wilson. He clears from the back pocket, up short of centre wing. McIntosh is there, it comes to the front. Harding fumbles off his shins. Whistle goes. It's going to be a free kick to the Bombers. Salmon, well up the ground, goes to centre half forward, chopped off by Kemp.
Interesting ploy there, Drew, with that kick out from full back. They're using McIntosh as a target, but Salmon was there, followed him right down the ground.
McKenna to Worsfold. Worsfold back into Kemp. Eagles, the high handball floated over. Well done by McKenna. Out towards Pike. Pike up towards the 50. Here's the Brownlow medalist, but not this time, Gavin Wanganeen. Lewis, the hand pass back. First gamer kicks. Oh, it looked like being out of bounds. It comes back in from Spinks. Very high was Fletcher. Palmed down by Harvey to Fletcher. Fletcher's kick. Watson took his eyes off it momentarily. Mercury, back he comes. Stevenson, back to Mercury, put him under pressure. The ball close to the boundary line, and now goes out, and we'll have a throw in. Eagles in attack, down towards the 50.
Just a bit of indecision there between one of the oldest players, Tim Watson, and one of the youngest player in Stevenson. They both let it go.
Spinks palms down to Kemp. Did well there in his first game. Now Mercury has it. Shea Cockatoo-Collins breaks from centre half back, pops it over the top. Kilpatrick on the run. Great footy, Cockatoo-Collins up towards half forward, over the head of Dale Kickett. It goes to Buick. Well, they're competing for the ball. This is Dale Kickett again across the face of goal. He's had 2 shots for goal, and the ball off hands out of bounds. Will have a throw in.
Not a bad sign though, that, Drew, with those two players so keen to get the ball on the forward line. Dale Kickett and Darren Buick, both very hungry for the ball.
Boundary throw in. Salmon works his way in front. McIntosh is there. Salmon trying to get it down. Hurd could have been taken high. McKenna comes away across the goal face and finds the boundary line.
It's good defensive play there by Guy McKenna. Very experienced, terrific defender, in fact, for the West Coast Eagles.
Well, we've talked about the heat. Currently 27 degrees, on the way to 29. Salmon pumps at Goldwood. Close to the boundary line. Mercury's got it. We're looking for Buick. Knocked down by Hart. Kemp's in there. Should get a free kick. Nothing doing. Opportunity for Hart. Spills across to Cockatoo-Collins across his body. It's a wayward kick. Manton tries to keep it in. Djakovic charges at it. From the other direction, Hurd. It's out of bounds in the pocket and will be thrown in. Glenn Djakovic. Essendon, looking back over the last couple of seasons, have lost their season's opener. The last 2 games they've started on opening day. Cockatoo-Collins snaps. That's a terrific effort. It's a goal.
Well, he's a good kid, Cockatoo-Collins. He showed plenty of form in the Foster's Cup competition. Can understand why Essendon were very keen to get him in their side. Shea Cockatoo-Collins, only 19 years of age, and along with Dale Kickett, 2 very good recruits for the Essendon side this year. Let's have a look at this replay. Paul Salmon and McIntosh doing the ruck work. McIntosh winning it, but Cockatoo-Collins roving.
Shea Cockatoo-Collins, 5 possessions and a goal in his first 5 minutes of AFL football. Bombers 1-1 to nothing. Harding goes up, beats Somerville. Worsfold's little hand pass out. Evans, high ball to the 50. Wanganeen almost with one arm, he'll take a free. Bond doing the interfering. So Bond in his first game playing on the Brownlow medalist, how about that?
Another good kick through here, putting Somerville under a lot of pressure.
Evans, the hand pass out. Bond's first kick is a goal. Well, you play on the Brownlow medalist, your first touch is a goal.
Yes, it was a bad option there from Gavin Wanganeen. Well, actually, the option wasn't all that bad, but the execution was very, very poor. The kick from Wanganeen going across goal, looking for Somerville by himself, made it very awkward with that half volley. Somerville not all that flexible, a big man, and couldn't get down to the ball. And the turnover resulted in that goal to Bond.
And I'm pretty sure they're cousins, Bond and Wanganeen. So that'll be interesting as Harding gets it down. Mercury high towards half forward. Back goes Brennan, takes a very good mark. Hart. McKenna's got a red face at the moment. He's picking up Cockatoo-Collins. The ball on the outer side. Great courage shown by Evans. Awkward bounce. It goes back about 15 metres. Out of bounds on the outer side will be thrown in.
Yes, actually, Bond was asked yesterday whether his first cousins with Wanganeen. He said, yeah, we're related somewhere down the track.
Somerville works his way in front. Harding over the top. Olorenshaw does nicely on his knees to the voice supplied by Somerville. Fast running out of space. Feeds it back. Mercury. There's going to be a free kick, I think. It'll go the Eagles' way on the outer side. Somerville, after the hand pass, hung on, and Harding will get the free. Forward of right half back. Goes down towards half forward. Watson reaches over the top. Fell in front of Evans. Going in solidly, Mercury is going to get the free kick, and rightly so. Spinks going over the top.
Mark Mercury, one of the young guns from last year's premiership side, up towards half forward. Wilson to tidy up at the back. Banfield, number 6, first there, takes the ball out. First year player last year with the West Coast Eagles, played 7 games, having been number 1 pick in the November draft in '92. The odds, the Bombers odds on 7-4 on, the Eagles slightly odds against 10-9. Brennan's kick to half forward. Spinks 29 and Bond, the 2 first gamers. Bond goes back to Evans. Left footer by Evans to full forward. Sumich for the first time. Punched away by Fletcher. Chance though for the Eagles. Lewis is there. Oh, whipped away by Wanganeen. Brilliant. He did it all last year and perfect disposal. Calthorpe just behind the wing. Oh, Matera with his pace came from nowhere. Well done by Peter Matera. And burns them off. His kick to centre half forward. Wanganeen and Bond again. O'Donnell goes back. Stevenson, the 17-year-old. His age matches his number. Short of half forward. Banfield under pressure. Fires out a blind hand pass. They nearly lose it. Cockatoo-Collins buried and will take a free.
He's been everywhere so far. Alongside the centre circle. Goes for distance. And gets plenty. Buick trying to work his man under the ball. Loose ball behind, off the ground. He's missed. Terrific attempt. No, it's a free kick, I think, going to the Eagles.
Yes, I think Buick was in the back of his opponent there. Good decision by the umpire.
Hart's got the ball then. Hart out of defence towards the outer side. Somerville from behind. Got a fist on it. Fell forward. Taken by Pike. Pike's kick towards the outer side wing. Turley misses the ball. O'Donnell, cleverly done. Misses Doolan. Doolan centering kick taken by Calthorpe inside the centre square. Buick breaks for him. Out comes Buick. It pitches in front though, taken by Hurd. Hurd snaps and misses. Not by much.
He had a fair bit of time in the end there too, James Hurd. A very good young Essendon player. Still only 21 years of age, James Hurd. Great overhead. Probably had more time then than he expected.
Well, the most famous club in Australia, so they claim. Port Adelaide will be patting themselves on the back. The 2 goals have been kicked by former Port Adelaide players in their AFL debut, Bond and Cockatoo-Collins. Matt goes back to Salmon. His kick up towards half forward. Terrific mark by Kemp, who came from nowhere. Kick by Kemp to centre wing. Here's Spinks in his first game. The former Subiaco youngster.
Good lead provided there by Spinks. Committed lead.
His kick, plenty of distance to the 50. Bond at the back. Good mark. It's Lewis. He plays on. Gets the hand pass in. Welcome back, Craig Turley. He kicks a goal.
Eagles lead by 4 points. A couple of the players they need firing, combining on that last goal, Lewis and Turley. Worsfold knocks it down towards half court. Bond is in there. Watson cleverly. Mercury comes away. Little chip pass out wide. In front, Hurd. He's been busy as well. That was a strong mark, despite the attention of Brennan. Hurd from the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Salmon uses his bulk intelligently. Slaps it out wide. Calthorpe close to the boundary line. Can't keep it in. And a throw in. Ashley McIntosh in defence this afternoon. Tall assignment. Salmon gets it down. Calthorpe did nicely. O'Donnell tried to get it to Mercury. Turley's hand smothered. He goes again, Craig Turley. Well played. O'Donnell's in the road though. It comes back to Worsfold. Worsfold boots it towards the outside wing. Wanganeen on the burst. Forward of the wing now. Back inside the 50. A floating kick. No one touched it. It falls behind. This is Hart. Confronted. Gets the hand pass away. Salmon and Jakovic on a collision course. Cockatoo-Collins. He fires. Is it his second? I don't think so. Just missed. Essendon looking good.
There's Cockatoo-Collins in everything so far. 6 kicks, 1 hand pass, and he's kicked 1 goal, 1.
Came from Cairns originally. He carried the drinks for the Bombers in a pre-season game against the Bears up in Cairns in 1990 when he was about a 15-year-old. They picked him 42 in the draft, and here he is in his first season playing the first game. Hart's kick.
Oh,
good mark. Jakovic.
It's hard to believe he's still only 21, Dennis. He seems to have been around forever, Glenn Jakovic.
Terrific player.
Spinks, not this time. But the second effort was good. Round the corner he goes, bouncing near the centre. Kilpatrick. Well done by Turley. Matera. Open forward line. Sumich out towards the pocket with Fletcher. Bond leading Wanganeen. Well done by Bond. Oh, the umpire said it was out. He wants to throw it in. Well, I won't argue with that. But a line ball. That's what boundary umpire does all day. Line ball decisions.
Spinks up in front, knocks it down. Kemp took a long time. Wanganeen, no free kick. Opportunity now for the Eagles. This is Worsfold. Feeds it back to Lewis, who centres the ball intelligently. In front up there, Banfield. It falls to Evans. Across to Pike. Strong tackle, Mercury. That was a terrific tackle.
Yeah, it wasn't a good hand pass, really. Hand pass to a player under pressure there. And Don Pike went to ground, and Mercury tackled it. Tackle was very strong.
Yes, 9 times out of 10 you'd expect the player to slip the tackle there, but not so with Mercury. Manton with great courage dives in. Hurd, who's been industrious on the forward line. How the heck did he get through there? He kicks inside the 50. Oh, well done, McIntosh. Didn't hang on to it. Socket off the ground by Wilson. Sliding in there was Kickett. Socket off the ground desperately towards the outer side for the Eagles by Hart. Olorensshaw's got it. Olorenshhaw close to the boundary line. Pulls it back. A floater towards the 50. Jakovic in from the side. Calls out his teammate McIntosh and takes the overhead mark.
Well on top early, Glenn Jakovic playing at centre-half back on Glenn Manton.
Kick by Jakovic to centre wing. Punch from behind by Spinks, doing all right. Kemp with Doolan. Doolan, the high-priced recruit in the March draft last year. Didn't get a senior game last season. Harvey gets a high tackle. It was going to be a free. He plays on. Wanganeen now in a bit of space from Bond. The kick to centre wing to Kilpatrick. The Bombers on the run in warm conditions at the MCG. Long, high kick. Salmon's got the height right in the middle of this pack. In front, Buick. Hand pass, chopped off by Harding. A bit lucky, a hurried kick, and goes straight to Matera at half-back flank.
We talked at the start about one of the great rivalries in the competition between these two clubs. As Mercury was up high, Hart gets it across to Evans. Or rather, Pike got it to Evans. It's kicked down towards half-forward. This is Doolan.
Already Kevin Sheedy using the interchange. Stevenson off, and Grenvold on for the Bombers.
And Grenvold's got it now. You get the feeling these two sides flexing their muscles at the present time, looking who'll blink first. Up goes Hurd. He's been very good. Strong mark.
Terrific mark in front from this young Essendon player.
Posing problems for Brennan. The kick well inside the 50. Salmon goes up. The better recovery. McIntosh hasn't got the ball. Must get a free. Buick held on to him a long time.
Bit stiff for Manton.
There's McIntosh in the back pocket. Gets it high towards the wing. Spinks comes on a long lead. That's a very good mark, considering the quality of the opposition even better.
He looks all right.
He looks very good, doesn't he?
Matera towards half forward. Evans stretches, takes the mark.
Just played on. He's out of bounds.
Can't do that.
Oh, come on.
Quite right. In front, Fletcher. Good mark. Hits the ground running. Storms away. Kicks it towards half forward. Hurd again. Brennan did better that time. Buick couldn't control it behind. Hart's kick goes as far as Kilpatrick. Well done by Worsfold. Picked up again by Buick. Into the path of Calthorpe. Look out. Banfield hit him. Down they went. Right on the wicket area. Very solid in there. Buick could have been pushed in the back. Not according to the umpire. Bounce alongside the centre circle.
And one thing you will notice, that centre wicket area has been covered with roll-on turf. So it looks very similar to the rest of the ground.
Played 14 times. The Bombers lead 9-5. The Eagles have won in Melbourne a couple of times at Windy Hill and by 74 points here at the MCG a couple of years ago. Turley gets a hand pass away. Cockatoo-Collins starring. That's a big punch upfield. Manton gives away a free kick here to Jakovic. Jakovic tied for the best and fairest last year with Don Pike. Now it's Wilson from defence. No distance with that kick. Lewis gets it down to the front. Watson took his eyes off it. Not for the first time today. Kilpatrick. Lewis recovering. Well played by Lewis. Opened a path here for McKenna. A left footer and plenty of space, but will he get there in time? No, because the ball bounces just inside the line before Worsfold can get there. We'll have a throw in at the Eagles half-forward flank. Eagles 2 goals, Bombers 1 goal 3.
Tough opening this one. Somerville, clean possession, feeds it behind the pack. Harvey, quickly done and well done. Got it to Doolan. High kick towards the wing. In front was Hurd. Cockatoo-Collins again. Away he goes. Storming down towards half forward. Knocked up getting possessions, but a poor effort. A wayward kick. It favoured Jakovic, and probably that was the best result after the kick, was that it would go out of bounds. It did, and will be thrown in the left full forward pocket.
Already 8 possessions to Shea Cockatoo-Collins. A couple of the Eagle players didn't look all that keen on chasing there. McKenna and Matera looked at each other saying, who's going to chase this bloke?
Salmon dragged off it. McIntosh. The free kick is coming back to Salmon, and the umpire is indicating that, he was held too long.
Yes, I think that's a decision, Dennis. A holding decision.
Well, that's a very iffy one, because late in the day he tried to kick the ball. Watch this again. He tries to complete the action of kicking rather belatedly, but surely the player's allowed to hang on here. Watch this again. Well, that's a shocker.
Well, it may have been after he got rid of the ball when he was taken to the ground.
Well, I thought he was trying to kick the ball, but...
Well, it's 50-50 there, Dennis. It's one of those decisions. The umpire, I think he felt that he was held on too long after he'd made the attempt.
Clearly. So here's Salmon from about 25 metres out. Should kick this goal. Not sure that he has. I think he's missed.
Well, shades of this game last year. Remember, he kicked 6 behind until he kicked his only goal for the day with 14 seconds left. And won the game with it.
Pretty important one, as it turned out.
It would have to be in the back of his mind too, wouldn't it, Drew? Remembering that game here at the MCG last year. Magnificent spectacle, that game, with the Bombers getting up in the dying moments.
Yeah, it's probably like getting back on a horse just after you've fallen off. Lightning hand pass in from Ola Renshaw. Grabbed by Pike. He's losing ground. Here's Cockatoo-Collins again. Pike will get a free kick.
There's a similar incident, Dennis, I would think, to the Paul Salmon one. What do you think on that one?
No,
it was the West Coast.
No, I wasn't watching, mate.
Harding to half forward. Spinks makes a contest. Doolan goes back to Wanganeen. There's his cousin Bond right on him and puts the pressure on until, he gave away a free kick with a push in the back.
Well, I don't think it was only Bond. I think it was Johnny Worsfold came in there as well. Let's have a look at Worsfold. make sure that he buries him completely. I think in the end it was against Worsfold. Rather heavy-handed tactics there by John Worsfold.
Now that was a kick.
I think it was.
Kick by Wanganeen up towards centre wing. Didn't reach the target. Hurd, and Banfield takes the mark. 12-10. Eagles leading by 2 points. Harvey camped underneath it. Fletcher punches away. Grabbed by Mercury. Terrific tackle by Turley. Not a free kick.
Should have been.
Watson gets the hand pass up. O'Donnell's hand pass intercepted by Matera. His kick wide for Sumic. He's coming up for his first touch. Peter Sumic dodging, weaving, 50 metres out. He kicks these usually. It's not too far offline or behind.
Well, that's where Fletcher made the mistake there. He should have kept Sumic and forced him onto his right foot. That feint there by Sumic when he pretended to kick on his right, then come back on the left. Fletcher must realise that Sumic will be trying to kick on his left foot if possible.
We've talked a bit about round 16 last season. Look at that cluster. If we go back to round 1, these two sides started the season last year at Subiaco Oval, and Sumic kicked 7 goals 8 that afternoon as the Eagles won narrowly. Ball on the outer side. Ola Renshaw takes the mark. Fine player.
The player who kicked 8 goals that day was Buick. Hasn't had a kick yet.
Long kick down towards half forward. Not very high was Jakovic. Should have punched away. Kick it. Cockatoo-Collins. Approaching double figures with that kick down inside the 50. McIntosh did brilliantly twice. Charged at that one. Kicks to the outer side. Surely a free kick. Essendon player upended. O'Donnell plays on immediately. Ola Renshaw wants his left side. Puts it back to O'Donnell. He's forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Salmon comes on the lead. Left it behind. The callers play on. McIntosh got out of trouble brilliantly. Wilson out wide. McKenna across the boundary line. It will be thrown in.
Yeah, good tactics there by Guy McKenna, but McIntosh playing a great game at fullback. Wonderful attacking football when he left his opponent and attacked the ball.
Salmon and McIntosh. Salmon down to Ola Renshaw. High ball, short of Mercury it was, short of the square. Off hands, Brennan. Whoops. Dale kick it, drops it. Wilson comes back. McKenna goes for the safety of the boundary line again. Three and a half minutes to go to quarter time. Perfect conditions, but we've had only 3 goals kicked. And I suppose maybe the sharpshooters haven't quite sharpened their pencils at this stage of the season. No excuses for missing goals today. Only the pressure the opposition puts on, and there's been plenty of that.
I think McKenna's been moved off Cockatoo-Collins. He's now on kicking.
Salmon palms down. Evans helps the ball up. Banfield. Out of bounds again, in between halfback and centre wing for the Eagles.
Drew Banfield, #1 pick last season in the national draft. 7 games last year. Boundary throw in. Hurd goes up, wins it down decisively. O'Donnell, so good for so long for the Bombers. And the mark is held about 60 metres from goal by Paul Salmon. Eagles lead by 3 points. Salmon goes low. Manton.
I think there's a holding decision before that, though, to Buick. The umpire appeared to blow the whistle before it got to Manton, but he's allowing this mark to Manton anyway. Hart, you can see Hart and Buick just before it got there to Manton. I think the umpire would have awarded that to Buick.
They're interchangeable, are they?
Ah, well, 6 of one and half dozen of the other.
The Eagles would be happier with this result. Manton kicking at goal. Buick doesn't miss many, but Manton has missed this one.
Good call.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd agree with that, Dennis. It would have been far better for Essendon had Darren Buick, who kicked 50 goals last season, taken that kick.
Glenn Manton's been in very good form as we look at Kevin Sheedy throughout the Foster's Cup competition. Here's McKenna in short. Matera the target. Kilpatrick closing. Matera the loose ball behind. Has an opportunity to run away here. Well done. Gets the hand pass across to Pike. Storming up from half-back. Goes towards half-forward. Bond dropped the mark. They could pay the price for that. Wanganeen towards half-forward. Waiting behind Cockatoo-Collins. He's about 55 metres from goal.
Oh, he's been good, this boy.
Has this been a sensational opening quarter in your AFL career?
Yes, Mick Malthouse has made the change, but maybe the bird is flown. Long kick down towards full forward. McIntosh in front. Drops the mark. Taken by Hurd. He was pushed off the ball. Hurd showed courage. Mercury gets it out. Calthorpe snaps and goals. Essendon lead.
There's costly miss there by Ashley McIntosh. Worked his way into a fine position to take that mark and then spilt what he normally would have taken. Ending up with Calthorpe. There's a good attempt by James Hurd, almost kicking in danger there by Hart. Eventually spilling to Calthorpe, and a very good effort on his left boot. Essendon doing pretty well with these 7 players from last year's premiership side out today.
Somerville and Harding in the middle. It comes back to Harding, but he loses control of it. Out of the middle come the Bombers up towards the 50. O'Donnell posts it high. Salmon short of this one. It's knocked down by Brennan. Still there for the Bombers. Hurd goes back to Salmon. Wide for Buick. Dodges one. Throws it on the right boot and snaps a behind.
This could have been all over just about, couldn't it?
Have they wasted some chances? 2 goals, 6. That was Buick's first kick. Just over a minute to go to quarter time.
David Hart to bring it in. Fullbacks being given more time now to bring the ball in. The directive of Bill Della. Manton takes the mark on his chest. Well, after waiting that length of time, not a good kick in as it turned out by Hart. Manton's got this ball about 70 metres from goal, sends it back in. Salmon goes back. McIntosh almost the mark. On top of him, Kickett. And the bounce about 12 metres out. Salmon looking for the free kick. Salmon in front. McIntosh over the top. Kemp could have been pushed in the back and was, according to the umpire. And Kemp comes out wide. Jakovic and Manton. Jakovic very strong overhead. Has this ball at left half back. Kemp's inside. He feeds it now to Kemp. So Kemp comes away from defence. Took the man on. Now Lewis will need to go. He's in trouble. Well played. Back to Kemp. Kemp a little chip kick towards half forward. Missed down there by Harvey. Opportunity behind for Evans. Evans did well. Just simply stopped. Got it to Bond. Bond across his body. Floats it very high inside the 50. So much work under the ball. Opportunity for Ola Renshaw. Being pursued by Banfield. This will be interesting. Worsfold coming to assist. Plenty of experience there. Watson too on the siren. Well, an uncompromising first term at the MCG to open the season. And at quarter time, the reigning premiers lead it by 5 points. It's 2-6 to 2-1.
3 umpires in charge today. Hayden Kennedy, Andrew Coates and Anton McKernan. And we get underway to start the second quarter. Hurd can't get rid of it. Kemp a good tackle. Calthorpe gets a little toe poke to it. Kilpatrick, good hand pass. Ola Renshaw can't break the tackle of McKenna. The hand pass comes up. Chance for Kickett. His hand pass puts Cockatoo-Collins under all sorts of pressure. And McKenna thanks his lucky stars this time that he gets a kick and clears the area.
Kickett obviously just not sure of himself on his left side there, because if he could have kicked okay on his left foot, he would have been away and had a shot at goal. Tried to get back on the right and was caught.
McKenna now playing on Dale Kickett after being flogged early by Cockatoo-Collins in the first quarter. Trying to barge through there was Wilson. O'Donnell to Cockatoo-Collins. He's still going, the youngster. Brennan not doing a lot to get rid of it.
Well, that's a free against Wilson. Mercury down with his head over the ball. Indiscriminate tackle there by Peter Wilson. Dangerous, actually. And Mark Mercury to take the free kick. Looks like Jakovic has been moved on to James Hurd, and Brennan is now picking up Glenn Manton.
Well, the Bombers had 8 scoring shots to 3 in the first quarter, and if anything, were into a slight breeze. So now they have it. Mercury from the boundary line, 50 metres out. Salmon! But McIntosh does superbly well to get it away and through for a behind.
He's doing well on Salmon at the moment, Ashley McIntosh. A very good young Eagles player. He was named in the forward pocket, still only 21 years of age also. Plenty of football ahead for that boy.
There's Guy McKenna, who usually likes the short option. Trying to find one here.
Oh
dear.
He is having a shock.
Well, the two players there, Olorenshaw and Cockatoo-Collins, it would have been favourable there for Cockatoo-Collins to take it.
Well, I think the ball is coming back, which is good news as far as Essendon are concerned. Olorenshaw wanted to play on. We can only assume somebody in the first row called for the ball. Here's Olorenshaw.
Bloke in the first row took the mark, didn't he?
Close to it. This will be tough for Olorenshaw.
I think he's trying the banana kick.
Not a bad effort. It's coming back belatedly. Harding goes in, crashes in, and punches it through for a behind.
As I was saying, the two players was very much a line ball there between Cockatoo-Collins and Olorenshaw. Olorenshaw, a left footer. Cockatoo-Collins would have been favoured being a right footer.
I'm going to say bringing the ball in after a behind is a very inexact science in the AFL. Sometimes it works and sometimes it can be a disaster.
Essendon doing very well to cover most of the options here at the moment, Dennis.
The long ball is not a bad option, and McKenna goes for it towards the outer side, especially when you've got a man like Djakovic who can take a mark. He didn't need to that time. He won the ball on the ground and boots it down towards half forward. Almost a terrific mark there. Oh, terrific stuff by Wanganeen. Got it to Watson. Watson's kick fell short of Calthorpe. It runs free behind. It's picked up by Kilpatrick. Close to the boundary line. He kicks inside the 50. Falling back, kick it. Loose ball. Mercury gets away. Goal coming up.
The whistle's gone. I think it'll be a 50-metre penalty because Mercury obviously heard the whistle. And maybe he thought it was an Essendon free kick. I'm not too sure. But the umpire not having any of that.
Well, he's one up on me. Hard to hear the whistle.
And if you hear the whistle, it's worth the punt, isn't it? You think it's your whistle.
Well, especially there it is. It doesn't hurt you too much.
Comes back to the middle of the ground. They're not going to kick a goal from here.
McKenna plays on by hand. This is Pike running it up through midfield. Kickett is closing. Good hard chase by Kickett, but Pike boots it down inside the 50. Sumich, little push away. He's taken this mark right on the 50. Now, distance on the breeze should not be a problem from here.
Peter Sumich's first mark for the afternoon, using the body well. Just a slight nudge keeping Fletcher out of the contest. And as Dennis said, is favoured kicking from this side of the ground, being a left footer.
76 goals last season. Much maligned in Western Australia. Let's see what he can do from here. Important kick against the flow of the game. Peter Sumich trying to pull it back. It comes back, but not enough. A behind from long range. And the Eagles creep a little bit closer.
Two behinds for Peter Sumich.
He does look a little bit fitter, I think, this year, Dennis. I thought towards the end of 1993, he was starting to look very sloppy, in fact.
We had this debate at Football Park, didn't we?
I think we may have.
They won it.
Bernie.
Sumich kicked 100 in 91, and then since then he's slipped back with 82 and 76. Hart has a bit of a fumble. He's lost it to Buick. Buick's hand pass, well, he feigned the hand pass and kept possession. The kick up towards the 50. Hand pass might have been the better go. McKenna starting to get back into it. Brennan. His kick is good to Kemp. In between half-back and the wing. Onto Hart, who's making up for his previous mistake. Not a great kick by David Hart. And Wanganeen takes the mark. And if there's such a thing as a Brownlow hangover, I'd like to wake up with this hangover that he's having. Wilson, centre wing. Oh, I just love watching Wanganeen play. 8 possessions. Von Shaw kicked a goal early on him, but Wanganeen a champion. Peter Matera. There was some doubt, apparently, during the week about him playing. Chopped off by Watson, the veteran. Game number 299 today. Good on you, Tim. Give us a smile.
That'll be scary. Watson goes towards the outer side. Hurd playing very well. Bit of treatment from Djakovic. Could have almost been 50.
Now, that is a quality mark, isn't it, against very good opposition.
Hurd down towards centre half forward. In from the side, Brennan did well to fist it forward. O'Donnell with some time gets under the kick. It goes about 25 metres. They came from all directions. Opportunity for Hart. Didn't have the ball. Calthorpe grabbed him. Hart will get the free kick. Immediately comes out to Worsfold. And the skipper has it, right half back. Chip pass to Heady on the ground now. Heady on the wing. They need him firing. He kicks towards half forward. Doolan did very well. Attacked the ball and got it out of bounds. Ben Doolan, formerly of the Sydney Swans.
Sorry, Dennis. Michael Simon's already also preparing to come on the ground, replacing Dale Kickett.
Saw Derek Kickett in the earlier game today. Down goes Eddie.
Taken high.
Thought so. Spinks.
Head.
This is Hart. Across his body. Turley from behind did well. Knocked forward there by O'Donnell, but directly to Worsfold. Gets it to Spinks. Spinks about 75 metres from goal. Did well to keep it in play. It hugs the boundary. Going back. Grenville. Good mark.
Plenty of space here for Wanganeen. He's 20 metres in the clear. The only pursuer is Sumich. I like your chances, Gavin. Wanganeen's kick over centre wing, looking for Manton. Great pace from Brennan. Oh, Wanganeen again. Look at him go! The 93 Brownlow medalist. The kick short of half forward. McKenna not clean possession. Grabbed by Kilpatrick. A centering kick. Somerville late and gives away the free kick.
Just going back to Derek Kickett, we saw him playing for the Sydney Swans. I think he's about 2 words away from being fit and ready. I'm full.
It was an irony, wasn't it, to see him playing in the reserves against Essendon for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, he's still got a fair way to go, you would say, Dennis.
Bit overweight.
Hart to Sumich. Should have taken the mark once he got there. Here's a free kick for Doolan. Well, he plays on nowhere near from behind the mark. Goes on with it, up towards centre wing. Kemp. Oh, good play by Dean Kemp. Turley, spoiled by O'Donnell. Buick. Beats the tackle. Into Watson. Thumps it as long as he can. Inside the 50. Manton the only chance for the Bombers. Simon's just on. A West Australian against a team of West Australians. Clears them. Oh, Salmon. No mark. It would have been better to shepherd it for a goal.
Pretty close to a mark. This is Kemp at right half back. Eagles will bring it away. Spinks, good effort, prepared to lead. He's getting the ball a long way up the ground though. Back to Kemp on the run, kicks to half forward. Wanganeen behind, Sumich the fumble. Oh, well done Sumich, quickly onto the boots. And it bounces through for a behind, his 3rd behind. But at the present time...
Didn't think that was a mark by Salmon, did he?
Pretty close to it.
I certainly didn't think it was a mark.
No.
Didn't have control of it long enough for mine, Dennis.
Don't get fair-minded now on me, Bernie.
Always.
Members side with the kick from Harvey. In front, Harding knocks it towards the boundary line and again did very well, the big man. He's working hard, but generally around the packs, Essendon looking far livelier. And on the forward line, the Eagles really have only Spinks and to a lesser extent Sumich so far. Not too many others getting in the action. Spinks goes up and slaps it down. Evans dragged off it. Harvey, not the spot for it, but Buick redeems the situation and the speedster's away. What a star he's been for the Bombers since coming from West Perth. Kicks it down towards half forward, and there's going to be an Essendon free kick, and it will be taken by Mercury. Held when he didn't have it. Kicks for space. Here comes Salmon. Bounces off his chest. Brennan, likewise. Manton did well. Little toe poke. Wilson couldn't control it. Picked up by Jakovic. Jakovic under the pump. Boots it back to midfield. Well, Turley is wrestling with O'Donnell. It comes to Buick. Oh, cleverly done. Opportunity in there for Somerville. Robbed of the ball. Hand pass from Worsfold. Oh, upended was Hart. O'Donnell's got it now. Kicks inside the 50. Awkward one for her. Jakovic gets back. Oh, well played. How did he get out of there? And then he finishes it off. Got it to Worsfold. Met solidly. Gets it to Evans. Man on inside. That's Kemp. Kemp's forward at the wing. Little chip pass. Well, that was very indecisive. Coming up to meet it, Sumich collides with Harvey. Clearing the zone is Fletcher. And there's going to be a free kick, and it will come back to Essendon and will be taken, I think, by Fletcher.
There's some heavy stuff here from Peter Sumich. Eyes on the ball there from Mark Harvey.
Gee, that's Harvey keeps breaking his leg.
He is fearless, Harvey, isn't he?
Fletcher to centre wing. Hurd can't quite take the mark. Olorenshaw bowled over. Umpire will ball it up. Well on the play, you'd fancy the Bombers, but they lead by only 5 points midway through the second quarter. Umpires galore. Evans. Tim Watson on his own. Should play his 300th next week. Oh, great kick. Across the ground to Harvey. And they combined over a lot of years.
Yeah, it's good position there by Mark Harvey, getting away from Spinks.
Evans, a tough one, going in the same direction as the ball. Buick, a little hand pass through Simons to Kilpatrick. Back for Buick, didn't carry to him. Manton, a good one, and Flood snaps for goal and kicks it. Well, David Flood was just bobbed up on the ground. His first kick is a goal.
It's very unselfish play there by Glenn Manton, playing at centre-half forward. The Essendon smaller players at the moment running rings around the West Coast Eagles players. They're really not getting much around midfield or across midfield, the West Coast Eagles. But terrific play there by Manton, getting the hand pass out very quickly, and David Flood, a good snapshot at goal.
And he lead it out to 11 points now. Centre square infringement. Ola Renshaw's got the free to Buick, who's been lively in this term. Goes long, down towards Salmon, reaches over the top, slapped it away, but it's going to be an Eagles free kick. Advantage is paid. Evans gives it to Wilson, who arches the back and comes away from defence and kicks to Heady. But we've got more whistles out there than you'd find in a forest. And I think the ball will come back to McIntosh. Danger time this for the West Coast Eagles, bearing in mind second quarters were terrible for the Eagles last season. They had the lowest points production in the AFL. They ranked 15th. They averaged 20 points per second term. They need something, a spark here. Centurion today. Evans runs to space, has the ball close to the boundary line. Kicks down towards half forward. Harvey in best position. Up he goes. Almost a spectacular mark. It was a spectacular leap. Heady comes in, pushes the ball across the boundary line, and a throw in out his side. He's probably missed about, what, 3 complete seasons because of injury. Could add quite a few more games to that tally had he been fit. This is O'Donnell, Mercury. The midfielders are cutting them up at the present time. Harvey on the overlap. Manton deflects the ball to his own advantage, then runs on. Could have almost got the free. There's a push in the back anyway, and the free kick will be taken by Flood, who kicked their last goal.
This is great for Flood. He's been there for 8 years and has played only 46 games. Played in the preliminary last year, dropped for the grand final. Wilson clears out of defence for the Eagles. Watson bursts onto it. The old style Tim Watson. Cockatoo-Collins a slips catch, but drops it. Play on, and now the ball out of bounds. Well, it was old Tim Watson then when he bolted away. Shades of the hurdling effort in the night game against Carlton. High tackle? Yes.
He may have ducked into that one, James Hurd, too. Dennis, how did you see that one?
Every time you ask me, I'm doing something else, but I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I disagree with the umpire with that decision. He ducked when he knew that tackle was about to be applied.
Standing a big chance here. They double team him. It comes to the front to McKenna. McKenna's hand pass to Worsfold. They're in trouble, the Eagles. They're cornered. Back to Pike. Well, no one to give it to. Eventually, Spinks gives the lead and he marks behind the wing.
Looks like Grenville may be playing on Spinks now.
There's Lewis, his second kick down towards right half forward. Evans goes up. Oh, terrific mark. Well done. So where's Sumich? He wants it down there and he wants it quick. Evans. Not a particularly good kick. Sumich will need to work here. Fletcher in front angled the punch away pretty well and gets it out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
Wasn't that a great mark by Evans? Terrific effort.
In front Sumich, in from the side Fletcher. Turley. Did well Turley. Got it across to Hart. Hart pulls it back right across the goal face. It sneaks in for a behind on the opposite side. And they'll take anything they can get at the present time, the West Coast Eagles. 3-8-2-4. And generally, the Bombers in control, but as we've seen so many times in battles between these two clubs, momentum does shift. They need to hang in. Harvey goes to the outer side. Intelligent kick into the path of Grenville. Kemp is tracking him. Well done by David Grenville. Gets the kick further afield towards the wing. McKenna does well. Just pushes it across the boundary line.
I must say, Turley has been very quiet in his comeback. One kick. And Chris Lewis not doing a lot. He's only had 2 kicks, Chris Lewis. And in midfield, they've been a little bit quiet. They're the type of players that really the West Coast Eagles do rely on. 1 mark, 2 kicks, Chris Lewis. It's really not enough.
But the margin only 10 points. Still a surprise to me. Eagles free kick here to Hardy. Three free kicks for 5 field kicks. Pike's kick to centre half forward. Oh, top mark. Excellent mark by Lewis. And the minute to say he's been a bit quiet, he jumps up like a jack-in-the-box.
Yes, well, they really do need him, Chris Lewis. A brilliant player in his early years. He's been a little bit quiet the last couple of seasons and must produce this year.
Well, has any man taken a mark so far on the clear on the forward line as David Hart did then?
The Eagles got their last goal at the 10.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
And yet, if Hart can manage a goal here, it's a tough assignment from more than 50 metres. They'll only be 4 points down.
There's a chance.
He's hooked it, hasn't quite made it. Oh, top mark by Somerville.
Yeah, too far out there for Hart. Would have really tested him.
Ola Renshaw takes the hand pass. Floats one over the top to Fletcher. A schoolboy who played in the Premiership last year. Back to Ola Renshaw. Up to centre wing. Oh, Stevenson, the first gamer, the youngster. Good mark.
He started at centre half back, now playing across half forward.
He turns 18 in June. Youngest man on the ground this afternoon. Influential in this ball, getting down to the half forward line. Salmon dragged off it, held it a long time, and I think, well, it's coming back to Essendon, is it?
I think maybe Salmon, again the umpire. No, it's Cockatoo-Collins actually taking the free kick off the play.
Yes, he kicks inside the 50. Rather lazy kick. McKenna does nicely to Hart. He's at right half back. David Hart kicks high towards the wing. Here comes Watts, an awkward one. He played it very well. Smothered the half volley and escorted the ball across the boundary line. Tim Watson, 4 times best and fairest with the Bombers. Drafted, of course, by the West Coast Eagles in 1992. So you could say he's playing against his old club this afternoon. Harding goes up, wins it down. This is Lewis. Kicks it down towards half forward. Awkward one for Spinks. Hit him in the chops and bounced out of bounds.
Harding off for the West Coast Eagles. He's been replaced by Ryan Turnbull.
Hey, if your name is Spinks, you'd be able to take one on the jaw, wouldn't you?
Yes, I like it.
And Spinks does well for the boundary throw-in, but Doolan grabs it for the Bombers. Harvey didn't see the tackler coming heady, but somehow got it across to Wanganeen. Here's kick to centre wing. Stevenson there again with Matera. Stevenson, a youngster. Matera with pace. Good contest. Stevenson, who played in the VSFL under-18s last year. Gee whiz, he did all right then. Worsfold. The ball is still in at the moment. Taken out by McKenna. The crowd over there, all Bombers fans, thought it was deliberate. Boundary umpire, there's only a couple of those, 3 field umpires.
And it was.
It was deliberate. Jakovic to the boundary line, Cockatoo-Collins. Well, he's wearing Derek Kickett's old number. Derek played all games last year except the grand final. And I think the Bombers fans might have a new hero to cheer here. Shea Cockatoo-Collins, what a debut.
Yes, you can slot him in for the recruit of the year already, I would think, Drew.
Stevenson puts the Bombers forward. There's Hurd. Worsfold desperately to Hart. Scrambles it across half-back. It's a foot race now. Banfield leads. Takes it in one grab. One down by Buick. Well, almost. It was a good chase and well played by Banfield. Doolan, look out. Coming to meet him was Kemp. Confronted is Mercury. He's so cool, Mercury. Gives it away to Salmon. Salmon chips it out wide. Ola Renshaw. That was an unkind bounce. They had men on all down the grandstand wing. That is one of the luckiest bounces the Eagles have had this afternoon. 2 loose Bombers up ahead, not brought into the play. Boundary throw in. From behind Lewis, one down by Salmon. Ola Renshaw on his knees. Kemp, who's been lively, to Pike. Pike pokes it inside the 50. Simic. Simic wants to go. Snaps. He prefers a snap. He prefers a goal. breaks a long drought, and they're back within 4 points, remarkably.
Peter Sumic's first goal for 1994. He now has 1-3 beside his name. He worked that ball well out of that boundary contest. Peter Sumic, obviously not all that confident with his kicking, as Dennis said, decided to play on, and he is a very good snap at goal.
MCG bathed in sunshine. The surface, I don't think has ever looked better. Salmon wins in the middle, and Pike gets it away. Banfield up towards the 50. Watson's caught, drops it in the tackle, tries to tunnel it backwards. Kemp. If the Eagles can get a goal here, they'll be in front, would you believe? Lewis. Dodging, weaving. Chris Lewis goes short for the pass. Sumic behind Fletcher. Fletcher does well. Olorenshaw and Banfield. Oh, Ricky was thrown out of it by Drew. Bad luck, Drew. I wanted you to do better, son. For the sake of the name, if nothing else. Free kick to Olorenshaw. Stevenson.
Dangerous.
Score from behind by Brennan. Comes to Pike. Chance here for the Eagles. Sumic at the back. He's dragged down. Wanganeen goes back to Fletcher. Up to Doolan. 4 points the margin. Bombers in front. Doolan to centre wing. Brennan dropped it. Red hot. Stevenson again. He's had a good 5 minutes. Turley loping after that one. And the ball goes out of play. Banfield 5 possessions. Bond after a good start, 4 possessions. Heady has had just 2 possessions. So there's a few well behind. Turley's had only 4.
Turnbull on the ground. Opposed to Salmon. Turnbull does well. Falls to Hurd though. Kicks well inside the 50. Clears everybody down there. Flood is playing it full forward at the present time. Worsfold slaps it towards the boundary line. Well, they left it behind them. Matera had the best recovery. Matera kicks for space. Here's a golden opportunity for the Eagles. Hart is 40 metres in the clear. Has a second bounce. And a third. No, he doesn't. He kicks inside the 50. Sumic, it fell short of him. It'll take something special from here. And I tell you what. I tell you what. Peter Sumic. One of the goals of the season.
Yeah, what an effort. What an effort from Sumic. His kicking in the Foster's Cup in Adelaide was very ordinary, in fact. His set shots were terrible, but look at this. Great gather by Sumic, and this is the sort of play that Peter Sumic is capable of. We'd like to see a bit more of it. He has a tough opponent there in Fletcher this afternoon.
Well, against all the odds, 2-point leaders, the West Coast Eagles, under 3 minutes to half-time. Turley slaps the ball out, but now a turnover in the middle. It comes back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's kick wide. Simons, unkind bounce. McKenna again for the boundary line. Finds it to throw in. Don't tell me the game can keep on being decided by the bounce of the football, but that's the shape of the ball, and that's part of the fun of it. Turnbull didn't manage a senior game last year for the Eagles. Out of a big pack by Stevenson. Inside the 50. O'Donnell is spoiled by Turley. And once again the ball out for another throw-in. And young Stevenson has had 6 possessions, and most of them in this second quarter. Going well, a 17-year-old.
Turnbull and Salmon. Knocked away by Turnbull. Close to the boundary line, Brennan. Happy with the result. Of course, the clock stops with the ball out of bounds. 4-4 plays 3-8. Terrific reward for their application for the West Coast Eagles. They've struggled. Essendon generally have looked the better side, but the Eagles, with persistence, are in front. Salmon was hit in the face. Comes down to McKenna. Nicely done. From his half-back line, he hoisted high towards the wing. Spinks held according to the umpire. Advantage is paid. Spinks runs on. Kicks inside the 50. Sumic bounced off his chest. Taken by Heady. Back to goal. Looks for Spinks. Spinks knocks it in front. Well played by the big man. Kicks it going goalward. Evans quick away to Lewis. Lewis fires and hits the post. And he's perked up in the last 10 minutes or so, Chris Lewis. Deserved a goal. Well played by the Eagles. In particular, Spinks. Down in front of our commentary position. 4-5, 3-8.
gather no love lost between the coaches' boxes here. Remember Sheedy's little glance across the Malthouse? Round 16 game here last year.
Kilpatrick's got it, left half back. Kicks towards the wing. Banfield's in front, must get a free kick.
A minute and a half to go to half-time, and a 3-point lead to the West Coast Eagles. Banfield inside the 50. Sumic, 2 goals this quarter. Fletcher spoils this time. Heady, an unusual touch for him. Matera from outside the boundary line has floated it through.
Well, put down your glasses. There's the goal of the day, Peter Matera. How was that? We saw one from Sumic on the other side of the ground. This is magic play here. Heady to Matera, somehow bends it back, hard up against the boundary line. Well, that is a magnificent effort from Peter Matera. What a player.
Slight exaggeration to say outside the boundary line, but he was nearly in the members' bar.
Yes, the Eagles have reclaimed the lead here with 2 of the finest goals we're going to see all season. It doesn't matter what anybody else does, they'll be right up there with the best of them. Jakovic boots it down towards half forward. This is Hart coming away, a resurgence by the West Coast Eagles. Sumic goes back. No push according to the umpire. Sumic back to goal. Gee, he was slung firmly. Taken high was Wanganeen.
But the difference there, Dennis, he was slung as he was kicking it, or attempting to kick it. No, I thought you were making the point that...
I was not.
Okay, just to understand.
That was a real hard fling, though.
Yes.
Hit the ground and bounced. And why not? Ball comes back towards the wing from Wanganeen's kick, and it's out of bounds. You're getting very touchy today. We're talking about those debates we had. You always win them.
Gee,
as a point of last resort, he produces the brown line.
Come on.
Out of the pocket, you can't argue with that.
There's 3 umpires and 3 commentators, but leave me out of this one.
There goes Lewis. Floats it down towards the pocket. Back goes Banfield. Wanganeen. He's quite incredible. He's a contortionist at times in the air. That ball off hands and will be thrown in. Remarkable player. He was the 12th man taken in the 89 draft. Essendon's 2nd pick. And the top 3 that year were Bannock, Croft and Arnold. Tossed in. Taken by Doolan. Away it comes. Grenvold gets it to the man we're speaking of, Wanganeen. And as if trained, that ball leaps out of bounds about 15 metres further afield.
So I remember the mark he took in just in that pocket last year with Sumic bearing down on him. He flung himself somehow, took a great chest mark. It stays in my memory, that one. Fantastic effort.
Almost half-time. Mercury gets it to Harvey. Last action of the term. Well, it's been terrific. And the prospect of more to come. The Eagles really putting together a fine 15 minutes in the run to half-time after that man electrified the crowd early. Shea Cockatoo-Collins. But the West Coast Eagles find themselves in front at the major break. It's 5-5-35 to 3-8-26. We're set to go. 3rd term at the MCG. And the Bombers producing only 3 goals in the first half. Needing a spark. The Eagles sticking to it. Great persistence in the first 2 quarters. Somerville goes up and directs it down. Calthorpe hacks it out of mid-air down towards half forward. Wilson over the top, got a fist on it. Simons, a quick hand pass. Stevenson a high kick. Down towards the kick-off line. Salmon got a hand to it. Buick fell over. Socket off the ground there desperately by McKenna. Opportunity for Simons deep in the pocket. Hand passes back towards the goal face. Salmon goes down. He trampled his teammate. Dragged out of it, flung out of it, Cockatoo-Collins, and conceding a behind eventually, McKenna. Well, desperate stuff, scrambly, but McKenna, a cool head.
Well, the Bombers were so keen to get the ball, they were running into each other.
Peter Wilson's done a pretty good job on Cockatoo-Collins since being moved onto him.
Mark Harvey on the bench to start the second half for the Bombers. 8 possessions in the first half, Harvey. Well, the Eagles have had trouble kicking in. At one stage, McKenna kicked out of bounds barely 20 metres from the goal square. Wilson gets outside the 50. Jakovic in front. Good spoil from the youngster Stevenson. Kilpatrick. Jakovic back in again. Oh, well done, Mercury. But now here's Lewis. Terrific hand pass. Awkward Jakovic on the left. Kemp at centre wing with O'Donnell. Oh, he's a great player, Gary O'Donnell. Little backflip there. Off the ground goes Lewis. Summer ball for the Bombers. Back to Doolan. Kicked by the ex-Swan, Ben Doolan. Half back to half forward. Wilson. Push out. It was a free kick, not a mark.
Peter Wilson, who had a very good season last year for the West Coast Eagles, I think from memory finished third in the best and fairest. Comes out wide. This is Kemp. Forward of the wing, he goes down towards half forward. Knocked away from Spinks down there. Loose ball. Spinks has the recovery, but Lewis is getting the free kick. Flood was hanging on to him. Meantime, Kemp plays on and spears the pass into Sumich. Peter Sumich, both his goals from running shots today. Has this one only about 25 metres out from goal, but not position A as far as he's concerned.
No, absolutely, Dennis, because he's not favoured being a left footer. The umpire bringing him around, he's trying to sneak around, and what he does, Peter Sumich, is drift out to the left and try to hook the ball back, which of course narrows down that angle.
This would do wonders for his confidence if he can get it. Going at his third. He's increased the lead by 6. Peter Sumich, 3 goals, and in the context of this game, they're very valuable. Only 9 have been scored, and the Eagles have 6 of them.
Actually, looking at Peter Sumich there on the replay of that kick at goal, he did seem to run much more straighter than he has in recent years. So obviously he's been working on that kicking style of his, because he used to have that pronounced hook. There we see a fairly straight approach there from Peter Sumich.
A bit of a surprise here. Watson in the middle on the ball for the Bombers. Start the second half. Evans' little hand pass. Turley hasn't quite got up to the pace of the game, having missed most of last season. Crashes his way through. Fumbles now. Hurd does well. His hand pass is blind. Such is the pressure in this game. Mark Mercury dodges Lewis. Gets the hand pass to Watson. Watson standing start. A spiral to half forward. Stevenson. Gee, we've had Spinks and Stevenson, 2 good debuts on the forward line for their respective sides. It gets to the back of the pack. Hart dashes back there. He had an outstanding first half, David Hart, with 15 kicks, and that's a perfect disposal to half-back flank to Jakovic.
Paul Salmon still yet to kick a goal on the Essendon forward line. A great game by McIntosh.
So the margin is 14 points. Kick around the outer side. Spinks is up, knocked away by Flood. Calthorpe has it. Quick hands away to Doolan. He was under pressure, but off the ball. It's going to be a free kick to Calthorpe. He wants to play on and does. From just behind the wing, he kicks in towards centre half forward. Matera did well to spoil. Wilson intelligently knocked it down to Jakovic. Jakovic kicks it long towards half forward. A real chance for the Eagles here, but an unkind bounce went over the head of Worsfold. This is Grenvold. Gets it across to support O'Donnell. Mercury through the middle. Kicks towards half forward. Ill-directed. Brennan goes back. Takes the mark on his chest. Turley is running for him towards the outer side. In fact, he bypasses Turley and goes to Heady. And Heady takes a very good mark. Turley continues to run. Is it right half forward? Sumich in from the side. Got a hand to it. Almost stumbled on the run back. Fletcher worked out of it by Sumich, who had it, then lost it. A battle of errors there, and eventually Fletcher did very well to push it across the boundary line. Both players had half chances, and neither could grab them initially. So a boundary throw in. Deep in the pocket, Spinks goes up, gets it down. Wanganeen, with balance, was taken high, not according to the umpire.
Oh, come on.
It comes to Evans. Evans to Pike, scrambles it forward. Sumich has it fisted away by Fletcher, taken by Heady. Brilliantly smothered by Fletcher. Marvellous defence.
I thought the tackle on Wanganeen was around the jumper.
Well, let's have a look again. He has got hold of the jumper. It certainly slipped up around chin level, didn't it, Dennis?
Play on.
Oh, okay. Okay, Drew.
Sorry, Bernie, you want a Brownlow. Here's Tim Watson, dashing from behind halfback. Well, I didn't think he'd see much time on the ball this season. Here he is in round 1, up towards half forward. Buick outnumbered 3-1, had no hope then. Brennan takes the mark. A 14-point lead to the Eagles. Centre wing, Evans. The Bombers unfurled their premiership flag earlier this afternoon. Don't tell me it's going to follow a defeat here at the MCG. Lewis gets round on his left. Sumich!
He's moving much better this afternoon, Peter Sumich, leading well. He had a shocker in the Foster's Cup game playing against Adelaide. He was taken off for that final time-on period of play. There's Chris Lewis, who has also worked his way into the game since halfway through that second term. Well, this is a very tough kick for Peter Sumich.
Well, Lewis had a bit to say to Sumich for not passing the ball then too.
Sumich, 3 goals from 6 kicks so far. Ivan Needlejob, a beautiful kick. That's hard to beat, isn't it, Bernie?
Wonderful kick, Peter Sumich. And in the context of this game, 4 goals out of 7. A very low-scoring affair. 7 goals West Coast Eagles. Essendon has kicked 3 goals 9. This is a great kick by Sumich. And went back with confidence. Not a problem there. And yet at times you see Peter Sumich missing easy shots from directly in front from 25, 30 metres.
10 goals in the game. Sumich has got 4. 6 other players with the remainder. Ball inside the 50 again for the Eagles. Wanganeen comes to meet it. Takes the mark on his chest. So Essendon, the running premiers, the night premiers, in trouble. 7-5, 3-9. Wanganeen. Back towards the middle goes the kick. Somerville was the target. Simons a little reluctant to go at it. Scooped up there by Mercury. Taken by Cockatoo-Collins. The hurried kick goes down towards half forward. Hart battles Buick. Ball spills loose behind them. Picked up well by Hurt. He was dragged off it. In fact, he dropped the ball. And that's the decision.
Very solid defence of West Coast Eagles.
Haven't they lifted since about the midway mark of the second term? Djakovic got it to Matera. Turley finding space on the wing. Heartening sign for the Eagles. He goes down towards half forward. Wanganeen blinded by the sun. Kemp gains about 30 metres on the soccer. Doolan heads towards the goal line and finds his target. Well, actually, he found the goal post. Ben Doolan. So the Eagles have come out firing in this term so far. They lead by 21 points. Fletcher straight down the middle. Somerville in front. Harding from behind. Simons has been busy. Boots it out towards the wing, but it's all Eagles. 3 of them lead in the race. Matera feeds it back to Djakovic, and Djakovic will go down towards half forward.
The 50-metre line. Spink's got a hand to it at the back. Wanganeen round the corner. Good mark by Worsfold. All Eagles at the moment. In he goes to Matera. He looks for Sumich and should get him. Fletcher bowled over behind the play. Shepherd, and it's a free kick to Fletcher.
Shepherding against Brett Heady there. Kept Fletcher out of that contest. Good decision by the umpire. The third umpire certainly coming into it on that occasion.
Bit of a shame for Sumich. I reckon he had his name written all over it before the Shepherd came. Kick by Fletcher. Oh, Djakovic hung in the air but couldn't take the mark. And the ball goes out of play. Well, I suppose there was definite incentive here for the West Coast Eagles today. It was the Bombers who put them out of the premiership race last year. They beat them in the first semi-final. And they slumped from premiers to 4th. And the motivation going into a game these days in such an even competition will count for a lot.
There's no doubt, Drew. I think just the 7 players out starting to take its toll on the Essendon side.
Spinks doing the ruck for the boundary throw-in. Grenvold pulled off his kick. Worsfold goes back. Matera. Clever kick to Brennan. Leaving half-back. Playing on Michael Brennan. 48 metres out. A shocker. That was an attempted kick for goal. And Somerville takes the mark.
Fletcher's got it now. Kicks to the outer side. Cockatoo-Collins pursued by Wilson. Close to the boundary line. And it's out and will be thrown in out there. 7-6 plays 3-9. Essendon dominating the early going in this game. Missing some chances, not by much. A few narrow misses. And they could come back to haunt them. Thrown in. Harding goes up decisively, but Turley couldn't carry the ball. Watson boots down towards the 50 for his side. Djakovic went back with plenty of courage. Hart quick hands away. Releases McKenna. McKenna runs away from half back. Probing kick towards half forward. Lewis storms up the ground. takes the mark on his chest. Sumic comes on a lead. Lewis slips. Still has the presence of mind to use the ball well. What a marvellous kick that was.
Great kick, wasn't it, Dennis? On his left boot also. He displays wonderful skills at times, Chris Lewis, but then at times drifts out of the game for far too long at times, Chris Lewis, but certainly lifted since halfway through that second quarter.
So Peter Sumic going at goal number 5 here. This to make the lead 27 points. Take a good kick into the breeze. Drifts across the goal face, claiming the mark behind his Somerville. And that was a good grab, right on the goal line. Timely. Somerville goes in short. This is Hurd, who started very well, deep in his own defensive area. Kicks towards the wing. Stevenson comes on a searching lead up, couldn't hang on. Harding, as always, playing hard. Gets it across to Brennan, who stands and delivers into the forward line. Hurd comes back. Sumic gets underneath him, and that hurt Hurd.
That was wonderful courage shown there from James Hurd, as we've come to expect. When he sees the ball in the air, he has eyes only for the ball. Sumic, looking to be in the better position, certainly stopped. And a very hard tumble there, taken by James Hurd.
Short of centre wing. Turley, the hand pass to Worsfold. All the Eagles. The Bombers have kicked us one behind in 13 minutes this quarter. Heady gave it. Was it a throw? No. Kemp sides the hand pass through. Turley gets it out to Evans near the boundary line. Now over the boundary line. Well, the Bombers still putting on plenty of pressure, but whereas the Eagles went through a drought earlier, the Bombers are having theirs now. They've kicked just one goal since quarter time, and we're midway through the third quarter. Somerville front position. Spinks made a contest. Evans missed with his hand pass. Lewis snap. Close. A goal. Gee, that kicks some terrific goals, Bernie.
Yeah, sensational stuff by the Eagles. Chris Lewis playing a terrific game now. He's very quiet early, but it's been very quiet, as you said, since quarter time for the Essendon side. They've only kicked 1-3, and the Eagles have kicked 6 goals 5. So it's been all Eagles since halfway through the second quarter.
Well, West Coast now have slipped away. Is it a match-winning lead? Low-scoring game. Up goes Harding. Slaps it down towards half-forward. Turns the defence around. Worsfold lays it off. This is Hart. 55 metres out. Sumic again. Knocked away by Fletcher. Sumic the recovery. Sock is off the ground. It takes an interesting bounce. Grenvold over his head. Got it to the voice supplied by Wanganeen, who's been steadfast. Ola Renshaw, who's gone out of the game, chips it around the outer side. In front, Somerville, who's got the best recovery. McKenna gets back and applies a strong tackle on Simons. Great tackle. Turley gave it to Kemp. This is Pike up through the middle. Pike goes for home. Long kick. Sumic works. Takes the mark on the kickoff line. Sumic had some work to do, and he did. He got Fletcher under the ball and marked on his chest. Turnbull is on the ground as Harding goes for a well-deserved sit-down.
There's good body work here by Peter Sumic. There's very little the player backing back can do in that situation.
5 for Sumic. And the Eagles now charging away.
There's 5 goals 3, in fact, to Peter Sumic. He's the only player on the ground to kick more than 1 goal. All the others have been singles. A pretty good effort by Peter Sumic. He's got on top of a very good young fullback in Dustin Fletcher, who doesn't have a lot of goals kicked on him, but Peter Sumic, who was very disappointing towards the end of 1993, has come out firing for this opening game of 1994.
Salmon on the ball. The bounce favours him. He belts it clear of the centre square. Jakovic loses control of it. It's grabbed by McKenna. Terrific hand pass wide to Matera. He goes a half-distance pass. Kemp marks forward of centre wing. Doubling passes Turnbull just on the ground. Long kick. Sumic and Fletcher once more. Almost Sumic. Lewis tried to go with the outside of his foot off the ground.
He may get the free kick. No, it's out of bounds on the full being awarded.
Dustin Fletcher. What a remarkable year he had last year. They all thought he'd run around in the reserves. He finished up playing in a premiership side, playing 17 games in his first year. The other end of the experience scale, Tim Watson, game 299 today. Up towards centre wing. Jakovic, middle of the pack. Hitting the ball hard was Calthorpe. Down he goes, he's holding it. Well, I think he did try to beat the pack. Turley whips it across to Matera, into Hart. David Hart's had plenty of the ball. Waterman hasn't had a run today for the Eagles. Pike. Sumic.
New opponent for Sumic.
Sumic outside the 50. Concedes ground to Turley. Standing start. Open goal square. Not a bad kick. It bounces on. Wanganeen gets back there. Heady in pursuit. Look at Wanganeen with fingertip control. Boy, I'm glad I came today to see him play.
Yeah, wonderful player, Gavin Wanganeen. 15 and 4.
At the present time, he's seeing plenty of the ball. It's all down his end. Throw in just outside the 50. Salmon and Turnbull. The Eagles running rings around Essendon at the present time, with the exception of Wanganeen. Now, how did he manage that? That was superb, as they say, centimetre perfect. It was just inside the field of play and kicked out. But at the present time, it's a case of too few being asked to do too much for the Bombers. Salmon, Turnbull comes over the top. Evans ran into Salmon. Salmon took him down, and the bounce on the outer side. Well, that's a daunting prospect for a rover at the base of the pack to turn around, and suddenly that pack, led by Salmon, is bearing down on him. 9-6 plays 3-9. Long time since the Bombers have kicked a goal. Salmon almost clean possession. Ola Renshaw trying to pick it up. So too is Salmon. Nothing much happening on the outer side. Eventually Evans gets up, confronted again by Salmon. Turnbull grabs it and gains about 25 metres before it bounces out of bounds. Essendon's last goal to Flood at the 12-minute mark of the second term. At that stage, it gave them a lead of 11 points.
Flood is now full back on Sumic. Salmon wins the tap. Doolan under pressure. Pike gets it through the pack. Back there is O'Donnell. Little kick round the corner. Doolan. Up towards centre wing. Wilson. Well, the forwards are getting cold on a hot day. Haven't seen the ball. Turnbull. Long kick to Sumic. Flood does well. And the kick by David Flood up to centre wing. Punched on by Fletcher. He might enjoy a run up the ground. Turley spears the pass beautifully to Kemp. Might have had too much on it. Couldn't mark, but plays on with it. Dead heat between Banfield and Grenvold. Through Banfield again. Evans works to the front. Evans against Salmon. Well, he didn't bring his slingshot with him.
There's Wanganeen. Look at the pace of the man, carrying the ball. And he pulled away from Heady. Manton.
He'd have to be in the votes again today, Gavin Wanganeen.
The Bombers desperate for a goal. Manton goes long down towards full forward. In front down there, Somerville. It falls behind the cockatoo-collins. Deep in the pocket. Is it another miracle goal? It is. And he practiced some hypnosis on Glenn Jakovic after kicking the goal.
Great debut by this player, Shea Cockatoo-Collins from Port Adelaide, recruited from Port Adelaide. Had a great opening term, very quiet in the second term. He hasn't done very much, in fact, since quarter time. As we see Bond come back on the ground for the West Coast Eagles, but he can produce magic. This boy, terrific goal around his body.
Well, supposedly, if you believe in miracles, the Bombers are close enough. 27 points down. Watson, remember they trailed by 42 points at half-time last year in the preliminary final and got up. Hart. Flood with Sumic. Oh, beautiful Lewis. Oh, he took a while. The umpire didn't ping him for that. It's no score. It'll be a boundary throw-in alongside the behind post.
He has been a key factor in this fight back, though, Chris Lewis. Slow to start, but he fired up midway through that second term.
Just under 5 minutes to go to three-quarter time. They're playing 20-minute quarters plus time on. The quarters seem to be going just as long, and in this heat, a quarter must seem like about an hour. Wanganeen fires out a hand pass. Lewis is there. Watson hacks it away from him. Turnbull, Fletcher, good tackle. Spills to Banfield. Fletcher gets the free kick. Well done, son.
Fletcher moved off Sumich, comes to Calthorpe, and Calthorpe will run it up through the middle. Look at him go. Calthorpe arches the back and pulls away. Goes towards half forward. Manton is the target. He's surrounded. McIntosh over the top for Curie. 2 quick goals to the Bombers. Essendon 5-9. The Eagles are 9-6.
They've still got a lot of ground to make up, the Bombers. And we see Calthorpe charging through the centre. Good long penetrating kick into the forward line. Thumped away by McIntosh. Great roving by Mark McCurry. Now the Bombers not done with just yet, but still with a lot of ground to make up.
Well, the Essendon fans are starting to find some voice. The crowd not as big as I thought it might be. About 40,000 perhaps. Kemp. Turnbull under pressure. Ola Renshaw back to Doolan. Floats one over the top to Simons. The Bombers have lifted in the last 3 minutes. Kicked by Simons. 30 metres from goal. Big pack. Off hands. A fumble. It comes through to Manton. He's buried. McCurry. Fletcher around the corner. The fullback has kicked a goal. 3 in 2 minutes for the Bombers. What a comeback, Bernie.
Oh, terrific stuff by the Bombers. This young Essendon side, they won't be done with. Here we see Fletcher, who has been beaten by Sumich on the day. Sumich has kicked 5. They've worked very hard getting that ball out of the middle of the Essendon side. Fletcher, who's got ability and pace, can play either end of the ground, snapping that goal.
Eagles led by 9 points at half-time. And Essendon, the best come-from-behind side in the league last year. They trailed at half-time in 12 matches. They came back to win 6 and draw 1.
In fact, that was Fletcher's first career goal.
It wasn't a bad one.
Yes, memorable in more ways than one. Here's Calthorpe alongside the centre circle. Kicks inside half forward. Watson's in front, fisted away by Worsfold. The ever dangerous Buick could have almost been held too long. Taken by Wilson, who goes for the boundary line. Kept it in, well played. McKenna, he took it across, says the boundary umpire and the crowd. They certainly snitched on him, and it will be thrown in.
Here's something, Dennis. The boundary umpires going with the pink wristbands this year. And Sheedy getting on the phone. He couldn't be too upset with the way the Bombers are going at the moment.
And they're very nice, those wristbands. There's Matera. Boots it through the centre. Wanganeen again pushed in the back. Must get a free kick.
What a quarter, Dennis, by Wanganeen. Coming in for kick number 18.
When it was tough early, when the Eagles were dominating, this is McCurry. Wanganeen was probably the man that stood between the Eagles and victory. And because of his perseverance in defence, they've been able to get some goals more recently. McCurry inside the 50. Big pack at the fall of the ball. In there somewhere, claiming it was Manton. Spills out, taken by Pike. High up and under, out towards right half back. Foot race out there. O'Donnell leads. Cockatoo-Collins was shepherding a long way from the ball. O'Donnell was upended as he kicked. He was hit very hard, and the ball has gone across the boundary line, has it? What's the decision? No, free kick is going against Lewis.
Yeah. Well, Chris Lewis tackling leaves a little bit to be desired at times. So there's no need for that. He was in the perfect position to apply a legitimate tackle.
O'Donnell's got the free then. And away he comes. Kicks down towards the 50. Not a particularly good kick. And in front, Wilson claims the mark. Peter Wilson knows this ground pretty well. Played a lot of games for Richmond here. Hart. Now he can run at Essendon. And there's a man on inside. Whoops. Missed initially by Worsfold. He wants a long time. He's gone. Too slow. Great work by Simons. And then Buick.
And he's hurt too, John Worsfold. He had a lot of groin problems last year and now in a lot of trouble.
Buick had a chance to run away with it, but Kemp did terrifically well to come back.
Well, the initial mistake was by Worsfold not taking that handball cleanly.
He was struggling.
Now he is limping very badly.
Big pack around this and plenty of Eagles trainers out there to administer to the skipper. And it's going to be a free kick to the Eagles. Looks as though Worsfold...
He's pointing to some spot on the... maybe his mouth guard.
Well, he's still limping badly. 3 interchange, he might come off for a rest. It's late in the quarter. Just 2 minutes to go to three-quarter time. Doolan bounces past Renvold to Kemp. Ball in, he was out. Centering kick for Sumic. Flood, his new opponent. O'Donnell's recovered from that high tackle from Lewis. Lewis at him again. That's a better one. Olorenshaw trapped it well.
Worsfold just cannot get to the contest there. He's trailing about 40 metres behind Mercury.
Mercury thumps it long. Another one before three-quarter time would be handy for the Bombers. The margin's just 15 points. They did trail by 33. The umpire comes in and is going to ball it up. We've got a minute remaining to the last change.
Eagles runner now going out maybe to speak to John Worsfold. I think he may have to come off.
O'Donnell and Lewis are still at it.
Yes, O'Donnell and Lewis off the ball. And the ground is really pulsating. The ball is headed down in their direction, and so is the emergency umpire. Meantime, Doolan cuts it off and boots it back towards the outer side. Fletcher, not a particularly good hand pass, and McKenna does well for the West Coast Eagles and knocks it across the boundary line.
We've wrapped Gavin Wanganeen up all afternoon, but up the other end of the ground, Guy McKenna has played a wonderful game for the West Coast Eagles.
I just have to say, what place for the emergency umpire out there? There's already 3 field umpires. Surely the bloke who's 100 metres from the play can look after him. Salmon
gets it down. McCurry kicks towards the pocket. Brennan's in front. It's out of bounds and will be tossed in.
Well, all that started, of course, with that high tackle against Chris Lewis on the boundary line on Gary O'Donnell. It's carried on from there.
Calthorpe and Turley get involved in front of the pack. Watson smothered off the boot brilliantly. Well done by Jakovic. Got the ball across to Hart, and now Matera emerges. No one to kick it to, so he heads for the wing and the boundary line, and after a run of about 15 or 20 metres, the ball crosses the boundary line to be thrown in. So we're down to 8 seconds, and one would sense we've seen the last of the scoring as Worsfold comes off the ground. Waterman is on.
Yeah, good on you, Mick. 7 seconds to go.
This is Grenvold. Kicks it down towards the half-forward line. There's the siren, three-quarter time. Jakovic almost the mark on the siren. So it really did twist and turn the game in that term. Initially the Eagles, then Essendon at three-quarter time. West Coast lead at 9-6 to 6-9.
Well, it's been tough all day, the opening round, in warm conditions, nearly 30 degrees, so the last half hour will really sap them. Buick gets the first kick out of the middle. The Bombers charge back in the closing minutes of the third quarter. Another goal here and they'll be right back in it. They trail by just 15 points after trailing by 33 at about the 20-minute mark of the third quarter.
This is when the sides would really appreciate the 3 interchange. A warm day like this, estimated top temperature of 29 degrees. The 3 interchange, very handy.
Salmon going goalwards. The umpire said play on to Mercury, who actually looked back, wondered whose the free kick was, and it's going to be an Essendon free kick right in front of goal. Well, that's an interesting one. Earlier on, Mercury was running into goal, kicked it, and was penalised 50 metres. That time he pulled up, didn't realise it was his kick. He could have walked in and kicked the goal, but now it's Mant. This will take the margin to under double digits. Back to 9 points.
Wonderful comeback by the Bombers. They looked completely out of it at the 20-minute mark of that third quarter when they hadn't kicked a goal for the term. And 3 quick goals and now the opening goal in this final quarter has certainly put Essendon well within reach.
Next, Williams. I'll pick them up.
Bright sunny day at the MCG, a hot day. And Essendon at the present time are running hot. They've kicked the last 4 goals in this game. Up goes Harding to win it down. Buick confronted there by Turley, trying to work his way through his Hart. Comes back to Turley. Buick's in there somehow. Emerges with the footy, is dragged down by Turley. 2 old sparring partners at West Perth and a bounce alongside the centre circle. Not the best of days for Darren Buick, but always dangerous. He's the sort of player who could decide this game. Kemp taken high. He'll get the free. Started well. Has battled hard. Dean Kemp out towards left half forward. Spinks props in front. Hurd came over the top. Recovers best. Little centering kick. Somerville in the true centre half back position. Wants to go. And does by hand. O'Donnell has started the term in the back pocket. Peels off and kicks down towards half forward. What a good kick it was. Mercury.
It was well done by Gary O'Donnell, Dennis, to provide that option, because all options up forward were covered.
Mercury getting in behind the defence. Another very productive day. One of the young stars of the league. He kicks from 55 metres. He'll contest a couple of metres out. It bounces off the chest of Salmon down there. A torrent of arms and legs. Eventually through for a behind. 7-10 plays 6-9.
Johnny Worsfold playing in that forward pocket for the Eagles in this last quarter. And you must be aware that Gary O'Donnell will run off him. Of course, we did go off in the dying stages of that third quarter with what appeared to be a groin injury.
Here's Turley back in league football after temporary retirement. Spinks the first gamer, can't take the mark. Hurd knocked down by Evans after he got rid of the kick. Relayed free, goes to McKerry. Centering, Calthorpe. Calthorpe goes for goal. Oh, what a game! Calthorpe second. The Bombers have kicked the last 5 and trail by 2 points.
An amazing comeback by the Bombers. Down and out, they've all looked over, and yet here they go. 7 players out of last year's premiership side, and yet they are still a very competitive unit. As I said earlier, they're the only club in the competition that could lose such great players and still be competitive.
Well, hang on. These two clubs have had some stirring games. Appear set for another one. Up goes Somerville. Side-footed out of there by Kemp. Leading in the races, Buick. Sockers down towards half forward. Cockatoo-Collins flying down towards right half forward. Gathers the ball. Unloads with a long kick. Back comes Salmon in from the side. Brennan. Salmon's over the ball, dragged off it. Manton emerges with it. He snaps. This could be a lifter. It's a goal. Well, you can't keep a lid on the MCG at the moment. The fans rejoicing, and Essendon, against, well, I guess all odds, have kicked the last 6 goals to lead.
Well, an amazing performance by the Bombers. Cockatoo-Collins, the young recruit from Port Adelaide, full of running there, kicking the ball long into the forward line. They really do need Paul Salmon to lift in this final quarter, but Glenn Manton, who was always struggling at full back, has certainly found his niche at centre half forward.
Salmon goalless, as he was in the same game last year until the last minute. Hart gets the hand pass up. Spinks the first gamer. A little one by Hart, nowhere near goal.
All because of the pressure applied by the Essendon defence there, forcing him wider and wider.
Brett Spinks, number 29, taken number 79 in the 92 draft. Bombers by 4 points. Here's Simons. Wanganeen has been a sensation, the Brownlow medalist. Centre of the ground. Fletcher was moved away from Sumic after he kicked 5 goals. Trouble for Stevenson. He's holding the ball.
Bad hand pass by Fletcher, a looping hand pass. And the player there really had to wait his teammate, put him under enormous pressure.
Ricky Olorenshaw was buried there near the cricket pitch area. And at the back, Lewis takes the mark. They need to change this game. Lewis goes for goal and hits his second poster. Well, you couldn't believe this. When the Eagles led 9 goals to 3 late in the third quarter, what chance did you give the Bombers? But they've come back to hit the front.
Yes, actually, Drew, that's their first score since the 15-minute mark of the third term. At that stage, they led by 33 points. Up goes Harding, knocks it down. Simons dragged down by Lewis, holding the ball, the decision. So Chris Lewis looking to assert himself here. And bearing in mind the start he had, he's been a very influential player.
Would he kick this with a torpedo, Dennis? Maybe.
Well, he could, but
possibly.
He's got to get onto the tour, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Sumic comes on a lead, drops back. He's going for it, Bern. He's heard you. Goes for the spiral. That gives it a right. It's just off to the right-hand side. Up goes Somerville and marks on the goal line. Well, percentages, I guess, not that high on the long bomb from just forward of the centre circle, but he certainly kicked it a long way. It'll probably take 1.5 to bring it back that distance. Somerville in the shadows of this stand.
He's gone for it.
Goes for distance. Super kick competition. Ball bounces to the wing. Taken by Pike. Both sides need to keep their collective heads here. Banfield did well. Got it to Wilson. Over the top to Spinks, who's made it very likely to boo. Goes long. It's a good-looking effort. Sumich, the meat and the sandwich. Somerville flies over the top and through it goes for a behind. So the margin is 2 points.
Spinks off and back on for the Eagles, Ryan Turnbull.
Unmarked for the kick in. Here's James Hird. Up towards the centre of the ground. It skims past a couple of players. Here's Worsfold with Mercury. Seems to have recovered from his injury. Oh, well, maybe not moving all that well there. Matera, little hand pass to himself. And then kicks out of bounds on the full. Well, he kicked a goal earlier in the game in the second quarter that was from just about the 4th row of the grandstand. Absolute ripper. Some of the goals we've seen today have been fantastic. Simons inside the 50. Wilson waits at the back. With him is Worsfold. Mercury, too much pace for Worsfold. Buick, a danger man. Up to the goal square, but Hart gets back there to mark.
Very timely. Now in the veteran class, David Hart, but there's a whistle and the ball will come back. Interesting. 16 of the Eagles' 1992 premiership side playing today. Very high percentage. Hart towards the boundary. Kemp the flyer over the top. Well read by Lewis. Intent on drawing a man. Now into space for the run of Kemp. Kemp goes to the wing. Heady has it. Been pretty quiet today. In keeping with his season last year, really. 19 games for 21 goals. They need more from him. Lewis runs on. Goes down towards Sumich, who'll lead back in the race. Can he manufacture something from here? Well, not quite. I think he was out of bounds before he kicked it. Wow. Boundary umpire says it was out of bounds on the full.
I agree with you, Dennis.
So do I.
Not much doubting that, I wouldn't have thought. He kicks it with his right foot. Oh.
Well, he got actually he did get the signal from the goal umpire.
Very good goal umpire too. I think he was right. Doolan out of defence. Optical illusion. Ball comes to the wing. This is Hart. 55 metres out. David Hart, something of a sharp shooter, and I think he's got it. Eagles back in front.
Not known as a goal kicker, actually, Dennis. He's 79 career goals now. Only one goal kicked in 1993.
Was a marvellous goal scorer in the WAFL when he first came in, Bernie. Uncanny.
Was he? Yeah, well,
uncanny.
of course he's played most of his football across half-back, back pocket, and mainly in the tagging role.
Chris Waterman just on the ground for his first run for the day. The Eagles lead by 4 points. 13 minutes remaining in the final term. Kemp out of the middle. Off to Matera. We saw this in the grand final a couple of years ago. A long bomb. Doolan's back there. Gee, just offline from behind. But electrifying pace by Matera.
I'll say this for Ben Doolan. He's a very good judge, but he's very calm.
He was casual, wasn't he?
David Flood, who kicked a goal to break a long drought for the Bombers earlier on. Hart goes back to Kemp. They worked this at training, but they weren't ready for the smother. It came off Turley and went backwards. McKenna gets the hand pass to Hart, who keeps on knocking up, getting kicks. He's had a big day, David Hart, approaching 30 possessions. A mark to Sumich.
Much improved performance today, Peter Sumich. He's put himself in front, flown for the marks, and his kicking has been impeccable. 5 goals, 3 to Peter Sumich.
You've got to say, Bernie, in fairness to Sumich, he's rarely let them down in big games. He's got a terrific record in big matches. And I guess the first one of the season falls into that category against the reigning premiers.
Two goals in the second quarter, 3 goals in the third quarter. 5 goals, 3 for the day. The third for the Eagles. Well, centimetres could decide this game. One straight kick the difference.
Harvey's back on the ground, and of course no extra time in this one. Should they finish all square? Flood goes straight down the middle. High kick. Salmon at the fall of the ball. Directed it forward. Knocked out of there by Calthorpe. Socket off the ground by Turnbull towards the outer side wing. Grenvold leads in the race. Should have too much pace. Gets the kick off and was dealt with unfairly having kicked it. I think it'll be a relayed free kick down the ground, will it? No, it'll come back because he was in the act of kicking. So Grenvold to take the free. Right half back. His side down by a goal. A real feisty customer. Goes in short. Salmon had to stretch and did. Bounds away. Kicks down towards right half forward. A goal will level it for the Bombers. Wilson across his own half back line. Free kick coming back to the Eagles. McKenna will be given it. Plays on immediately to Matera. Matera chips for space. The Eagles lead in all directions to this ball. Hart, who's been terrific. He and Kemp in the midfield have stoked the fire towards the wing. Hetty was up. Wanganeen and Hetty. Hetty decides to go off the ground. He was held without it, says the umpire. Just a token grab at best, I'd say. But Hetty's going to get the free kick.
Yeah, it's just very minor that one by Gavin Wanganeen, but it was there.
So Hetty in the shadows of the stand on what's been a very warm day. Kicks inside the 50. Offhands Lewis. A piece of magic. Negotiates the traffic. Hooks it back, but not far enough. A behind. Handy one.
Yep, margin 7 points. Just under 11 minutes remaining. A low-scoring affair in these conditions, but so hot and the pressure has been on. It's been intense. David Flood. Now, the umpire off the action has seen something way up here in the huddle.
I think it was against Peter Matera, a holding infringement of Mark McCurry.
So maybe the three umpire system paid dividends there. Certainly for the Bombers. Good mark here to Jakovic. Pops it over the top to Harding. Good running by Wilson. And a perfect pass to Turley. Craig Turley goes wide to Hetty, who's been pretty quiet. And he can't get this one and keep it in. We'll have a throw in about 35 metres out from goal. At quarter time, the Bombers led by 5 points. At half time, it was the Eagles by 9. At three-quarter time, the Eagles by 15. And at one stage, they led by 33. Now their margin's 7.
Turnbull directs it behind the pack, taken by Turley. Well done, away to Lewis. The goal beckons, and he's missed it. Oof, that was a big kick for both sides.
1 goal for to Chris Lewis, including 3 behinds in this last quarter, and 2 posters in that total.
10-12, 9-10. Eagles by 8 points. Kick to midfield. Salmon was up. Fisted away. Matera roving the pack in front. A couple of revolutions. He got the hand pass away. Simons down to Hurd. Hurd chips it out wide. Fletcher's got it. Breaking hard for him is Buick. He ignores that and goes for distance. Manton in best position. Well done by Brennan. It spills across towards Cockatoo-Collins. Can he get his third? He measures the kick. He puts it straight through. Oh, what a game. Back to 2 points.
Wonderful performance here by both sides of the MCG in this open for the 1994 season. Very warm conditions. They've given their all on this wonderful young player, 19 years of age, Shea Cockatoo-Collins. 3 goals for the afternoon. Great first quarter, very quiet in the second term, but very dangerous around goal.
Well, Shea Cockatoo-Collins originally came from Cairns. He probably thinks this is the cool day. Salmon taps the ball out. Oh, down goes Matera and hasn't moved. Fletcher.
I think that came from Mark Harvey, that hip and shoulder.
And Matera not looking too good.
Here it is. Mark Harvey hits him very hard. The elbow coming up after the clash. Completely fair.
And down the ground, the free kick against Fletcher to go to Jakovic. Matera getting a pat on the back. Might need more than that. Brennan in trouble at halfback. Gets the hand pass away to Wilson. Fletcher can sprint for a big man, but doesn't get him. A high ball from Wilson. Oh, free kick against Lewis. And we can't argue with that. Tim Watson goes the pass to half forward. Calthorpe takes the mark.
Peter Matera's okay.
In between the centre and half forward.
Matera now remonstrating with Darren Buick. I don't know what that's over, but the umpire right on the spot.
And it's to be an Essendon free kick to Mercury, about 35 metres from goal. Now it's coming across to Somerville.
Well, maybe Peter Matera thought that it was Buick that cleaned him up.
He's not a good judge.
He's a very poor judge.
He wouldn't be seen too well afterwards, would he? Now, this is critical. These free kicks within kicking distance. We have just under 9 minutes left. The Eagles lead by 2 points, and Somerville can wrest the lead back for the Bombers if he kicks truly here.
And he can kick goals, Peter Somerville.
Close. He's got it. Somerville's first goal. The Bombers by 4 points.
Yes, he often goes down to the forward line and takes over at full forward to give Paul Salmon a run in the ruck, or when he needs a rest. And what a game here at the MCG. The big fella at full forward, Peter Somerville, kicking that one and putting the Bombers back in front. Wonderful performance by both sides, particularly the Bombers with 7 of their premiership side out from last year.
Yes, despite a long list of absentees, it's been a terrific performance by the Bombers. Knocked on by Cockatoo-Collins, down towards half forward. Up comes Fletcher, couldn't control it. O'Donnell knocks it on, gained about 5 metres. Mercury sliding in, free kick to the Eagles. Banfield emerges with the ball to Matera. Matera kicks down towards the 50, coming up on the lead. Waterman missed it, taken by Doolan. Back to Wanganeen. Wanganeen, the chip around the boundary, beautifully executed. Bad luck for Cockatoo-Collins. They could have gone the length of the ground there if it controlled it. He couldn't. It was a tough bounce. And a throw-in results. Essendon by 4 points. Turnbull back towards the boundary. Still plenty of time. Kemp, who's been terrific, can't keep it in. And it will be thrown in. 26 possessions for that man. Well, 2 of the coolest teams under pressure. You wouldn't want this any other way. They'll keep their heads. Turnbull knocks it back towards the boundary. Once more, a throw-in out his side. What a debut. Mercurial in the first term, 10 possessions. Turnbull and Salmon. Salmon, clean possession. Boots it down towards half forward. Jakovic leads back in the race. Gathers the ball, lays it off. Wilson in trouble. Back to Jakovic. They worked it well. Jakovic, the high kick through the wing. Camped underneath it. Turnbull. Over the top, O'Donnell. Quick hands away to Salmon. Look out, Wanganeen. Oh, brilliant stuff. Somehow got out of the pack and kicks to the 50. Over the top, Wilson. All Eagles behind. Jakovic comes away.
Jakovic doing some sterling stuff in the back line. 20 possessions for him. Centre wing and the mark taken here by Turley. A new look, Craig Turley, with the short hair after a brief retirement. Up to Heady, who's been quiet. He slipped away from his man this time. Measures him up, goes for goal, and is way off target from behind.
I think that's Wanganeen's man too. He was very slow getting back to Craig Turley. Maybe just starting to feel the pinch, Gavin Wanganeen. He's played a wonderful game.
That was lucky to be a point from our angle, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit wide. I'm a bit disappointed in the crowd. It's been posted as 39,492. Thought there'd be more.
Well, they've missed a great game, haven't they? By staying away.
Yeah, just a marvellous game, this one. And to think there are weeks and weeks to come. As Flood goes down the middle, Salmon up, runs free behind on a collision course. Kemp, but somehow got out of trouble. All the skills in the world, and Heady takes a terrific mark on his chest. He's lifting.
Wanganeen made sure he put him under pressure that time.
Maybe Doolan could have got a hand of that as well. We just see Doolan going back. Actually out of picture there, but went back a little bit casually there again.
Are we advocating the torpedo again?
Won't need it,
I think he'll be kicking from just outside the 50. It will stretch him, I think, with a drop punt, Drew. He's going for the drop punt, though.
I saw you kick drop punts from here and 8 years after he finished.
This to regain the lead. A goal will put the Eagles 3 points in front. He gives it everything. Oh, that's a terrific kick.
Never in doubt the prop punt.
Well, I shouldn't doubt you, Drew. Brett Heady has had a reasonably quiet afternoon. 6 kicks and 5 hand passes. Very strong chest mark under intense pressure there from Gavin Wanganeen. And from about 51.5 metres, that kick from Brett Heady made it easily. His first goal for the afternoon.
We've had 3 changes of the lead in this last quarter. The Eagles now have it by 3 points. Has 6 pulsating minutes left. Cockatoo-Collins on the turn. A high ball to centre half forward. Fletcher gets underneath it. Calthorpe ducks a tackle. McKenna cool in the crisis. To Wilson across the half-back line. It sits all right for the skipper Worsfold. Matera has recovered from the thump he took earlier on from Harvey. Kick by Matera. Heady really has come to life in the last 5 minutes. Over the top he goes. Worsfold had double passed. Delayed it a bit long. Took too long. And they lost it out of bounds at half forward, about 60 metres from goal. 5 minutes 34. The clock stops when the ball's out of play. 20-minute quarters plus time on every time it goes out of play. Grenvold for the Bombers. Close to the boundary line and knocked out by Fletcher. Fletcher was full back. Sumich kicked 5 goals on him. Fletcher was moved. It's now the Bombers who need a goal. They unfurled their premiership pennant earlier this afternoon. Out of play at centre wing. Well, you wouldn't blame them for being tired. What a day. Maybe the Perth blokes are acclimatised. You've been over there, Dennis. You've had a heat wave. Would it help?
I think it would. We said that at the outset, but the Bombers have belied that. They've been terrific. This is Jakovic. Against the flow, he boots to half forward. In front, Waterman did well. Watson comes away to Wanganeen, and why not? He'll use it well. Wanganeen pulls it back to where they've got the numbers. It's 4 on 2. This is Salmon alongside the centre circle. Awkward-looking kick, tailor-made for Jakovic, who flew over the top, didn't complete the mark. Turley in trouble. Charged down there by O'Donnell, and a whistle. Well, it's a great tribute to players of both sides. We started, 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. And the precision and the run and the determination has probably risen in that time. Buick storms through. Cockatoo-Collins wide of the mark, out of bounds on the full. One of the few blemishes today from that young man. Brennan barking the instructions deep in his own defensive area. His side lead by 3 points. Brennan hugs the boundary with a kick. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Harding got a hand to it. It's a free kick to the Eagles in front against Somerville, and will be taken by Jakovic. When in doubt, so often they go high to this man.
Kick by Jakovic over centre wing. Turnbull number 50. No mark.
It looked like a mark to me, Drew.
Stuck for a while, didn't it?
Yep.
And the ball out of play. Well, we could be in for a repeat of last year, because Salmon hasn't kicked a goal. And last year, with 14 seconds left, he kicked his only goal of the day to snatch victory. And it's set up for that again. O'Donnell, a high ball to centre half forward, very high. Manton with the elbow guard. Ward almost got through Wilson. He paddled it well to McKenna. Now Jakovic, in a hurry to the centre of the ground.
No, not awarded.
Somerville goes off the ground. Here's Heady. 4 or 5 good touches in the last 5 minutes. Back he goes. Turnbull, high one to the 50. Well, Kemp never took his eye off the ball, but guess who beat him? Wanganeen. Olorenshaw, ridden in the back by Banfield. No whistle. Listen to the Bombers fans.
Oh, gee. Well, how can you work that out?
Not only hasn't Salmon kicked a goal.
Well, let's have a look at this again. Olorenshaw out in front. Banfield bearing down from behind, right in the middle of Olorenshaw's back. 39,000 spectators saw that one.
O'Donnell up towards, this is about 30 metres from goal. McKenna for the boundary line and finds it. The Eagles lead by 3 points, under 3 minutes left. And not only hasn't Salmon kicked a goal, but Buick, who in the round 1 game between these two sides last year kicked 8, he hasn't kicked a goal either.
Umpire might have been too close, Bernie. We had that discussion at Football Park a few weeks back as well. McKenna, Kemp, great poise, Hart, hurried kick. Turley needs to go, couldn't complete the mark. Taken by Turnbull, dragged off it, gained about 20 metres. Heady put his body in, diving in with great desperation. Banfield, terrific effort. Bounce just short of the wing for the Eagles. They lead by 3 points. What a game. And the skills so high already. O'Donnell, Calthorpe, 65 metres out Calthorpe. Long to full forward, Salmon! Drew Morfitt has been polishing the crystal ball.
Was he happy when he saw Salmon take that mark too? Exactly the same.
He did say to win it.
Deja vu, isn't it, Drew? The same as last season. Slightly closer this year, of course. He was about 45 out when he kicked that match-winning goal last year. And of course, Salmon will be kicking this one from about 12 to 15 metres and should not miss.
He's kicking at a 3-point lead here. If he gets it, they'll be over 2 minutes.
And the clock's still running down.
That's surprising. It takes a long time to prepare Salmon. The clock now is under 2 minutes. When he first got the ball, it was 2:15. He kicks from 12 metres out. Essendon in front.
Well, I can't believe I've seen it twice. Mind you, he hasn't won the game yet. There's time for the Eagles.
Yes, let's have a look at this in replay. Well taken there by Gary O'Donnell. Calthorpe with a lot of dash. Paul Salmon, he's been well held by McIntosh. McIntosh did everything he possibly could there. But Paul Salmon still taking that chest mark. 1 minute 45 remaining.
Yes, time still for the Eagles. Trying to rip the ball out of the middle. Buick goes back, misses with an attempted soccer. His Hart has been brilliant. He's decked. Look at the pressure. This is for 4 points in round 1, not a premiership, but what a day. Dale kick it back on the ground. He spent a long time on the interchange bench. Cramp for Don Pike. Palm out by Somerville. Matera's inside 50. He flips the ball up, but Greenvold clears the area for the Bombers. Back to the centre, where Wilson takes a chest mark. 1 minute 10 left. Unmarked is... Now it's coming back. It's a free kick to Calthorpe. Is he taken off Wilson?
No, Wilson's taking it still, but the opportunity is flown because out here by himself was McKenna.
Well, why would the umpire hold that up?
No idea.
Righto, he's let him get away with this. Instead of going right, he's gone left to Kemp. We've got 1 minute left.
Intended for Matera, too high, and Tim Watson gets it across the boundary line. Clock stops. We're down to 55. Pike's on his feet.
Matera looked a little bit unsure of himself there, not sure whether to go for it or not.
Wasn't a good kick. Somerville heads for the boundary line. Matera comes around. The Eagles send it back in. It's a high kick. O'Donnell goes up, and what a mark that is.
Go back and steady. That's all he has to do here with the clock still running down.
Squares the ball. Buick in the back pocket. He'll be enjoying this. Frustrating some old teammates. And I'd venture to say an entire state. We're down to 25 seconds. Short to O'Donnell. He's given it away. Turley, his old sparring partner. We used the expression before with 15 seconds to go. Sends it back in. Simic will need to go. Hurd, terrific.
Great courage, James Hurd, going back to the flight of the ball.
And that should be it.
Kevin Sheedy, you'd be proud of this player.
We're down to 3 seconds. Wait for the siren. It's all over. Essendon, a remarkable victory. Time at the MCG. Essendon by 3 points.